been unsure on follow-up? Like perhaps you have prospects and you're not sure if you're bothering them. You're not sure if you're following up too much, too little, all of that kind of jazz. If that's been a question on your mind, that is what we are talking about today. So feel free to share, get your peeps on with us, and let's get this party started. All right, so as I was sharing, I have a friend, a student of mine who messaged me and was asking follow-up 101 questions. And I think so many people have this question in their mind. They're not quite sure what to do. And so over the years, I've had those questions myself. And so kind of have a system in place that's worked for me, and I want to share that with you tonight. So I hope you're ready for it. If you're not driving, you can take some notes. But there's a couple of different things that we have in our mind. You know, in the beginning, I think we have question marks about like how exactly are we following up, how often, when are we bothering them, and when is it like you're supposed to follow up. And so here's what I found that's been really, really helpful for me is when you have any kind of interaction with a prospect, if you are meeting with them, if you are placing product with them, if they are jumping on a conference call, if they are coming to a home party, if you're meeting them for a one-on-one, whatever it is, whatever your connection point is with that prospect, with that meetup, with that phone conversation, with that Facebook message, whatever it is, you want to have a really, really clear path of what is next. That's where I think we sometimes get fuzzy is we don't know exactly what to do ourselves. And so then the prospect certainly doesn't know what to do, right? Remember who's in charge? You are in charge, my friend. So we want to make sure that whatever we have going on, whatever kind of connection we're doing with that person, that when all is said and done and you guys are going to part ways for that moment, that you have the next step in place. Now, back in the day, we used to call this book a meeting from a meeting, right? Bam, fam, right? Book a meeting from a meeting. But I kind of think of it as connection points because nowadays we're not necessarily meeting with people all of the time, but we're connecting with them in some form or fashion. So how are you going to connect with them next? And what is that connection going to be about? Now, recently we talked about what I would call like the ladder of escalation, right? So when someone first gets going, maybe the very initial contact would be placing product with them or, you know, having them watch a video. And then we kind of go up from there to maybe they're going to come to a home party, or maybe they're going to jump on a webinar, or maybe they're going to have a conference call with your upline, or maybe they're going to be, you know, three-wayed in a Facebook chat, whatever. Like we always have these little things that we're going to do, kind of take them up the scale of how they get an opportunity to see it, right? And so just what you want to do that's going to be really, really important for you, and it's also going to be great for them because they're going to know what the heck is next, right? They're kind of going to know what to expect in the future, is whatever you're doing with that person, make sure that you don't leave their presence, make sure that you don't end that conversation, make sure you don't wrap everything up until you kind of say, hey, you know what? I'm placing some product with you. You got a couple days worth. You know, today is, what is today? Wednesday, right? Let's touch base on Friday, or let's touch base on Saturday, or, you know, I think you should have an opportunity to go through everything by then. Do you think that you would have an opportunity to do that? And then they'll say yes and say, okay, perfect. What's a good time? We'll talk then, and kind of get something tentative in your calendar so that you're following up with them. Because the biggest problem people have is they place their product or they show a presentation and then the prospect's like, oh, well, I'm going to think about it, or, oh, I'm going to try it. And then it just kind of fades off into the distance. So here's the second point that you want to know and you kind of want to have in your mind. Sometimes what we do is we take that ladder of escalation, we take those little touch points that we talked about, and we spread them out. We say, oh, well, I'm going to place product with them today, and next week I'm going to follow up with them. And then I'm going to invite them to such and such, or maybe there's a webinar, or maybe there's a Zoom, or maybe there's a home party, or maybe there's something, and I'm going to invite them to. And we start stringing it out. We start stretching out how many touch points we have, how many connections we have with that person over a long period of time. Now, anybody that's ever been in sales or marketing, okay, they say you have to touch or connect or get in front of a prospect so many times before they buy. Have you ever heard that? Some of us that are on right now did not join our network marketing business the very first go around, right? Like it was several times around before we said yes. So the answer most definitely is, yeah, you're going to have to get in front of your prospect multiple times. And the numbers range anywhere from 7 up to 15, right? Okay, yeah, 6 times. Okay, there we go. And you know, that's totally true. So why would we want to take those 6 times or 7 times or whatever the official number is, right? Why would we want to take that and spread it out? What I would suggest, if you can do it at all, is condense that into as short a time period as you possibly can. And here's how this is going to help you. Number one, it's not going to feel weird. It's not going to feel strange, because if you're like, hey, I'm placing product with you, here you got a couple days worth, try this, let's touch base on this day. Okay, great. We both know, hey, we're talking this day, this time, right? And so then when you follow back up with them, they're expecting that. And if you are placing product, I would also recommend, hey, let them know, hey, pay attention to your body, or pay attention to your skin, or pay attention to whatever your product does, right? Pay attention, because you want to be looking for these different things. That way you're helping them tune in, because some people are not very in tune. And you got to help them kind of get their senses honed for what you look for, okay? Plus we got stresses, we got all these different things that we have going on in our life, right? So that is very, very important. So then you want to get in front of that prospect. You're just going to get in front of them as many times as you need until you get a yes. Or if you're starting to feel like, oh, maybe timing is not right in their life, then what? Like we started talking off by, we said, you know, how many times do we circle back around before we call it quits? Have you wondered that? And here's what I would share with you. You never really cross them off your list. I mean, I will say this. 2 things. Number one, you want to be a person that brings hope. You want to be a person that brings life. You want to be a person that brings a positive influence to the relationship and to the world at large. And so you should never really leave your prospect on bad terms. And if you don't leave your prospect on bad terms, then there should be no reason why you couldn't follow up with them 6 months down the road, a year down the road, 2 years down the road. I will share with you this. We have all different levels of prospects, right? Like we have people that maybe like we meet them at the supermarket, we meet them at the movies, they were a waiter, they were a waitress, totally cool, right? Then we have people that are like our friends, and then we have people that I would consider like marquee players, okay? These are people that either have built huge networks before, they have great centers of influence, maybe they're very astute business people that you know, maybe there's somebody that they just know everybody and their brother, right? Like those are your marquee players. And no matter what realm they fall in, unless they're like, ew, get away from me, this isn't for me, I hate network marketing, I don't want nothing to do with this ever, then they're always gonna stay on your list. And to be honest with you, even if you have somebody like that and they're a friend or they're a prospect, it doesn't hurt you to follow back around with them, because I'm gonna wager a bet here. Okay. Now I'm not a betting lady normally, but I'm gonna wager to bet this. There have been times in your life where maybe you were not super open to an opportunity. You were not super open to network marketing. I know that has been true for me. And so just know that there's different timing for different people, okay? So should we keep asking if they want to sign up? Well, to be honest with you, that's a first and foremost fabulous question, okay? I don't really ask people if they want to sign up. I just more like assume the close. So here's how this might go is, let's say you do a presentation, okay? And you sit down with them and you show them everything, or you have them watch a video. I have a closing sequence that I go through, which we'll talk a little bit about now, but we can definitely get into more later, which is basically, hey, what did you like about what you saw? They say what they liked, right? And then I say, hey, tell me more about that. And I try and get them to talk, because the more they talk, the more they're going to tell you why they should join your business. Then once we kind of get that, then I say, okay, what do you see in this for yourself? And they'll tell you, oh my gosh, I was just looking for a second job. This is going to be amazing. I was really, really thinking about doing this. And, this seems like it might be right up my alley. Or they'll say, hey, you know what? You have a health and nutrition business, right? They say, hey, you know what? I've always struggled with my weight. I was looking for something. This seems perfect, right? And so they'll kind of give you an idea. Okay. So then I just say, perfect. Sounds like you're ready to get started. The next step is, and if they stop you, and they're like, oh, no, and they back you up, then you can have a conversation about it. And I would just be like, oh, well, anybody that's ever said what you just shared with me, they always get started. So I'm a little confused. Tell me what you're thinking, right? And so they can back you up. But I never say like, so do you want to sign up? I don't ask that question. I'm just like, okay, sounds like you're ready to go. The next step is, and we just start filling out their application, okay? And so that's usually how we will go. Now, sometimes people will give you objections, right? Like, I need to talk to my spouse. I don't have the money. I don't have the time. I'm not sure I want to do this. I'm not sure if this will work for me. And so what you're doing in these different touch points that we're talking about is you're getting them around social proof so that they can see more, they can hear more, they can believe more that it's possible for them, right? And you're also, helping them get more comfortable with the idea, helping them get more comfortable with your system, with your leadership, with everything that's around them. So it's not just like, oh, here's this one-time thing. Remember, there's 4 different personality types, right? Some personality types are like fast and moving and they're like, let's go, let's have a party. Okay, where do we do this, right? Some people are a little bit more like, oh, do not push me. I need all my facts and figures. I want to make a decision, right? Some are more like, they're a little more quieter. They're a little bit more about relationships. We don't want to push them either. So what we want to do is we're just going to keep serving up the buffet until they decide what is good for them. And so that's what those touch points are all about. So at some point, someone may share with you, hey, you know what? You're awesome, but timing's just not right for me. I just have a lot of stuff going on. Maybe they're getting ready to get married, or maybe who knows what they have going on, right? So timing's not right for them. No worries. Hey, you know what? We have so many good things taking place. I'm doing this. Let's do this. Would it be cool if I touch base with you like in a month or 2 months or whatever? Would it be cool if we touch base down the road and I share with you the updates that are going on in our company? Because we have a lot of great things taking place. And that way they say yes, and you just get permission to connect up in the future. And you will have people that you will touch base with a month down the road, a couple months down the road, even people like every 6 months, okay? There's 2 different categories, I would say, when it comes to following up. We have like your active prospects, right? Like people that are in the hopper, people that like you're doing those touch points and you want to condense them in like a week, 10 days, 2 weeks. You want to condense that in a short period of time. You want to know, are they in, are they out, or are they for later, right? Whatever the case may be. And then you have everybody else that hasn't signed up yet. And I will just share with you, especially like marquee players, like people that could come in and blow it up. Like they're always gonna be on your list. Forever, they will be on your list. Now, when you call them, you're not calling them and be like, hey, are you ready to get started now? I know you looked at it 6 months ago. No, you're not saying that. All you're doing is you're just like, hey, what's going on in your world? How's life? What are you excited about nowadays? What are you working on? And you're just connecting. And by just connecting, you're gonna have opportunities to see if maybe something has changed for them and now they're open. Or maybe, they might say, hey, you know what? I've been watching you. I'm so impressed. Like, you're doing this thing. And you know what? I think things have changed for me. They might bring it up to you. But your big thing is that you want to circle back around with them when you feel that it's appropriate. Like, not the active people, right? Like the people that are just kind of in the hopper for the long run. Every now and again. Because the more relationships that you have going at any one time, the more people you can have in the hopper, right? The more potential you have for future signups. And we are in a relationship business. So I hope you do love your people, you do care about your people regardless. But just kind of know that, like, unless someone's like, stop it, don't call me, and I think you're terrible, and they just like totally, you didn't mix, right? They're always gonna stay on your list. The question is, how quickly can we hit those touch points so that we can get them off the list and into your team? Or maybe timing's not right and we're gonna follow up with them later on. So, guys, I hope that was helpful. I hope you got something out of it. One of the things that is so, so very important is leadership. People don't join companies. They join people, okay? They join other people. People will join you based on the passion that you have, based on the intensity that you have, based on the skills that you bring to the table. If you are a rock star leader, when that person's ready to go, they're going to be calling you. So one of the things that has been huge for us, and I believe will be big for you, is working on those leadership skills. Working on the things, eliminating anything that may be holding you back, anything that may be dragging you down, anything that may be a stumbling block or getting in your way from getting to the finish line. Some will now, some won't now, and someone is waiting for you to step up to the plate and talk to them. And so if you're at a spot in your life where you're ready to step up to that plate, you're like, dude, I've been on first base for way too long. Let's go to second base, let's go to third base, and let's bring this puppy home. And let's get it to where you have some options to where you can retire from your job should you want to, right? You can take a dream vacation. Like, I have to tell you, I am super blessed, super spoiled, super excited. I'm going to Cancun for my birthday. And why? Because we have some options, because we built a business that allows us to leave the country, and it operates with or without us being there. And so if you are at a spot in your life where that's what you want, like, yeah, sign me up for that, then you can click on the link that's listed here in the description. That's a special bonus training for you. And what you do is basically enter your email, and it will give you access to something called the 10 steps. And the 10 steps is all about you clearing out the things that are holding you back, dialing in on what you want, and moving forward to receive your breakthrough. So get that. It's my free gift to you guys. It's been so great seeing you all. Let me know if you got a golden nugget here. Drop a note in the comment section. Let me know what it was that you learned, what it was that you're going to start implementing, what it was that you're going to start doing right here and right now. And definitely feel free to share the replay. You can tag your team, or you can hit the share after we're finished. And that is it. So take care, be blessed. Go ahead and click the link for that bonus training, and I will see y'all next time. For more great training and to receive your free bonus training, the 10-step process for getting out of your own way and finally rank advancing, visit summerjeronimo.com.